To go ahead and check my gardens first thing in the morning. It's nice and cool today. I think it's supposed to be 75 to 70 degrees all this week, which is awesome. It feels like fall already. So we got some rain last night finally, because the plants definitely needed some rain. I have yet to watered. I have not physically watered our plants, I would say at least well over 2 months now, which is awesome. It just happens to rain right on time when the plants need it the most. Our pumpkins are starting to get color. They're starting to turn orange. So that's exciting. I read online that pumpkins are usually ready for harvest around September. So I'm not sure if these are going to be a little bit earlier than that this year, since it just turned August and they're getting color. Everything seems a little bit early this year from what I've heard from other farms as well. So we might have even earlier pumpkins, but this by far is the biggest one. And it's just hard to really show you the scale. Once we actually harvest that thing, we'll be able to see and show you how big it truly was. Got some here. There's like 3 pumpkins in a row in this spot. So pumpkins are doing good. They're doing amazing, super tall, and these sunflowers have like multiple flowers each. I love these little teddy bear sunflowers. They're so cool. Flower garden check. Let's just do a quick walkthrough. Make sure everything looks good. Make sure we don't have any ripe tomatoes ready to harvest. The nasturtiums have gotten so big, they've just taken over some of these boxes. This was celosia, I believe. Super pretty hot pink. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be hot pink or red, but that's what they look like right now. I've been mulching with grass, as you can see, grass clippings. Kind of gave up on picking weeds in here and just trying to squash everything down with good layer of grass clippings. Cucumbers. These are the pickling cucumbers. I've already picked cucumbers this week, and it looks like we're due for another harvest. I made some garlic pickles. I'm trying to hold off until our open stand day so I can harvest a bunch of them and have them for sale. Kiwi berries are nicely growing up the trellis. I've been trying to help them along by just twirling them on this fence, but they seem to be doing it pretty good on their own. Flower garden looks good. Cherry trees. These are the Carmine Jewel cherry trees. Still doing awesome, and really now is when we're seeing a lot of new growth on these. They took a while to really, I guess, get settled in there, but now with the warm weather that we've been having, you can really tell how big they've gotten since we planted them. We only lost the one tree ever since planting these. We lost one due to some type of animal digging it out, and we didn't catch it in time, so the tree dried up. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trees are doing beautiful. I'm trying to debate if I want to plant more of them next season, or just keep growing those and then eventually just take cuttings from it. I know for sure we're going to be buying more honeyberry or haskap berry plugs to plant next season, but I don't know if I want to buy more Carmine Jewel cherry trees as well. So honeyberries are doing good. We hand weeded all of this, so they're a little bit easier to see than before, but you can see the weeds are already growing back, so I have to maintain this as much as possible. But the 3 rows are doing good. Just past the honeyberry rows, I am heading towards our pumpkin plants. Massive pumpkin plants. These are the Jarrahdale pumpkins with the gray skin and the super dark orange flesh. they have been doing really good. Lots and lots of pumpkins. They're getting very big. I didn't realize these pumpkins actually got that big, but not the plant itself. I knew the plant would get big, but the actual pumpkins are pretty good size. So there's one plant. It's really full of flowers too, so it looks like it's going to give us a lot more pumpkins. But I think our biggest pumpkins are on the plant over here, so I'll show you those. All right, here's this one. There's a good size one there, and I saw some even bigger ones more in there, but just checking out my plant. I am torn because our pumpkins have been doing so good. Watermelons have been doing amazing, but I feel like for next year we should focus on one or the other, but I haven't been able to make up my mind. I just love watermelons, but also the pumpkins in the fall time are nice, and I feel like it would attract visitors to our farm for next year. So I kind of set up a vote on my Facebook page, seeing what people around here are interested in. If we want to do a larger pumpkin patch, like a U-pick pumpkin patch, using up all this space, all this field back here with all sorts of different pumpkins. And that way, like, people can get an experience of picking their own pumpkins, or we can focus on watermelons and grow all sorts of varieties of watermelons, at least the ones that will grow good here in Maine. Haven't really decided, have gotten very mixed answers, half and half almost. So maybe I'll focus on pumpkins back here in this field next year and have that pick your own pumpkin experience. Plus we sell all kinds of things in our farm store, like the cider donuts, apple butters and stuff like that, pumpkin pies. So I feel like a pick your own pumpkin patch would be very cute for fall time. Look at this little watermelon here. That's our biggest one so far. And then maybe plant watermelons everywhere else that I could find a spot. Technically, I don't have like a specific area designated that I can plant a field of watermelons. So I kind of have to just focus on one crop here in this spot. But maybe next year I can plant just this in watermelons. And then also in other areas of our home, like near the flower garden where the pumpkins are currently growing, that can all be watermelon. Where I have the cucumbers growing by that rake over there by the flower garden, that could be watermelons. There's a lot of little random spots that we can squeeze in different varieties of watermelons. So maybe I can still do both. So we'll see. These are cantaloupes. I don't know if these are gonna make it because the weather is cooling down, and I know melons are heat-loving plants. But you can see we're mulching with grass clippings. So yeah, I have not made up my mind about focusing on the pumpkin patch next year or doing a huge watermelon patch. The watermelon patch wouldn't be U-pick, but not a lot of people grow watermelons around here, so might be a good thing to offer to customers. But hey, if we can do both, we can figure out how to do both, and maybe eventually we'll figure out what we enjoy growing better, or what people enjoy buying more of, or coming out to the farm to experience. We have peas here, cucumbers, corn, and green beans, radishes, carrots, peppers, tomatoes, lots of tomatoes. I feel like these are gonna start turning soon, hopefully, because we have some huge tomatoes. I'm excited to have some of those in the farm stand. The peppers are starting to flower. We have assorted peppers, a mix of sweet ones and spicy ones, so I'm not sure what is what. But they are starting to flower. zucchinis. I also planted sunflowers, zinnias here. Zucchinis have given us lots of zucchinis. I'm going to be making zucchini bread for the market this week too, with some leftovers that didn't sell last week. These are more cucumbers. The cabbages, they still seem to be getting eaten by something, but they're still there and still forming their heads. So hopefully, like, I can't see the little caterpillars or worms, so I'm not sure if it's something coming at night to eat them, but it's like not messing with the middle head, which is the important part of the cabbage. So these are more carrots that I have not started harvesting yet. These are lettuces that I left to go to seed because I'm going to save seeds from these. We enjoyed growing these this year, and I want to save my own seeds so I can grow them again next year. So just imagine how many seeds we're going to get from these. Beets next to that. And then these are the carrots that we've been harvesting, the biggest ones, the first row that we planted. Eggplants. These are supposed to be kohlrabi, but I'm not sure about some of them. I feel like my seeds got mixed up when we first planted them, because some of them just don't look like kohlrabi to me. These are collard greens for sure. I just pruned them yesterday. That's why you see all these leaves. I pulled out the old radishes. I trimmed all of the damaged or yellowing leaves off the collards and the kohlrabi plants. See, like here, this is definitely a kohlrabi, but then next to it, if it is a kohlrabi, it just has not formed its head yet. Maybe it was too overly crowded or some type of nutrient deficiency. The onions are doing good. They say when onions are ready, all of this will just kind of flop over and turn yellow or brown. But those are doing really good. So for next year, the plan is to do the same thing. I want to till this whole garden at the end of the season. I want to do the little mounds that we did this year, but I want to do the rows wider so that our tiller actually fits in between the walkways. So like where I'm standing right now, maybe that's how we'll do. Actually, this is a little wide. Two of the tillers fit in here side by side. I just want to do it to the measurement of the tiller that we have, which I believe, I'm not sure how wide it is, but I want to do it to that width so that I can just walk through with the tiller for weeding and then just hand weed around the actual vegetable crops. Instead of doing the rows so tightly closed. This year we've never even used our whole entire garden for all of these crops, so I feel like we can definitely spread ourselves out a little bit next year. Plus we're going to be focusing on less variety next year. We're going to focus on just a couple of things that we enjoyed growing and we want to grow more of next year. I've been taking notes on what I want to do and not want to do next year. So we're going to add strawberries to this garden next year for sure. And that'll be like a crop that continues to come back every year. So that would be nice to dedicate an area just for strawberries. We're going to do garlic again, but we're probably going to save cloves for my own garlic and just grow small amounts of garlic for ourselves. Because just a lot of people around here grow garlic and they're not really good sellers at all. So just for ourselves will be enough. Tulips, I'm going to buy some more tulip bulbs. Even though we left the tulip bulbs in the ground, I don't know if those will flower next year. So I'm going to plant some more because those definitely sold good near Mother's Day. We're going to plant more haskap bushes. So the things that we're not going to repeat next year for sure is greens, carrots, beans, eggplants, any corn, beets, zucchini, and kohlrabi. So the things we plan on planting next year, pumpkin patch or watermelons. I put a question mark, but honestly I think we're going to end up doing both. Sunflowers, wildflowers, zinnias, tomatoes, strawberries, garlic, tulips, radishes, the honeyberries, and cucumbers. And then we'll see how much of everything we plant in that garden, and if we have space to experiment with anything else. But we pretty much got an idea so far this year one what we want to repeat and don't repeat. So we've done really good with this garden this year. I'm very excited about it, and I'm very satisfied with how much we've harvested already and put out on the stand, and what we have looking forward to, because we still have tons of carrots that we haven't even started harvesting yet, radishes, we haven't harvested tomatoes yet, we have more zucchinis coming, tons and tons more cucumbers coming. We haven't harvested onions yet, or the pumpkins or the watermelons. So it's really like the garden is just now beginning to get in full production mode. So, but we've gotten so much already, so we're extremely thankful for how this first year came, and hopefully it just continues like this and continues to improve. It's been a good year for most gardeners and farmers, so we're thankful that that's how it turned out for year one. It definitely could have went a lot worse. I heard that in this area last year was very bad for gardeners with the weather, so the weather cooperated this year. But that's it. That's my morning check of the garden. Everything looks pretty good. I don't see a lot of bugs that I need to come and hand pick right now. They usually come out later. Plus it's been raining all night, so everything's nicely watered, and seems like the bugs are hiding right now. So I usually come out and check the garden a couple times a day. I do some pruning. I've been pruning the tomatoes every day. Like the watermelon and the pumpkins, try to keep those pruned so that they don't spread out too far from where I want them. So didn't have to do any of that today so far, but that is pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this garden tour again, and giving you updates about how it's going so far this year and what our plans are for next year.